Had to steal a connector off of here because when I was doing the install, I broke the neutral position sensor. That guy right there. No time lapse today, guys. I've been doing this kind of behind the scenes and just focusing on getting it done, and I spent quite a bit of time going through and making this very meticulous. I did get that speed sensor wired in, and you probably can't see it, but it's down there. Brand new speed sensor. I tested it and figured out what pins were what, and it should provide a 5-volt pulse like the tech manual says. Got the transmission cooler mounted, and let me get the light over here so we can see this a little bit better, because it actually turned out really nice. There we go. So my lines were a little long, so I had to run a little bit of a loop, but that's not a big deal because that just means I can run more transmission fluid. You see the blue wires coming off of that little sensor there? That's the snap switch that turns on at 165 and then turns off at 180 to power the fan. And I've got that hooked up to power coming from the panel right here. Transmission cooler, you see that? So whenever that snap switch turns on, the fan will turn on. Got the fuel tank back in here, got the parking brake reassembled. I redid the heaters. I basically just had to take this one and flip it around, and then I ran a loop. This is hard to film. There's my new high point. So it might take me a while to get all the air out of the system right there because there's no expansion tank on it. And at some point I may change that out to an expansion tank. But for right now, this should work just fine. Got the exhaust back on. Got the transmission bolted up. We're at the point now where it's time to put fluids in. I'm gonna fall down and hurt myself here. We're at the point now where I've just got to put fluids in and run the shifter through the gears and get the transmission fluid through all of the passageways and servos and pistons and accumulators and all that good stuff in there. I haven't touched the OC12 yet to diagnose that leak. That's probably the last thing I'm going to do on my list of stuff to do. But I wanted to give you guys an update because I've been absent for a couple of days, you may have noticed. And I've just been focusing on getting this done. I'm really happy with how this turned out, a lot better than the way I originally had stuff routed. I went through and rerouted everything, redid the wiring harness connections on some of the stuff. Just made it a little bit easier for me to work on. Up front here, not much has changed here except that I ran this hose that was on this side over to that side to extend the cooler out and put a high point in it. And hopefully that'll stop the leaks when the air bubbles get in the system that likes to leak over there. I still have to put the back panel in and the seats. And I mean, I'm not going to do all that until I'm sure that this thing works. And if not, then it's going to be sitting in the garage for a while because I did everything in my power to make this thing work. So now if the transmission doesn't go into gear or doesn't move or whatever, I'm at my wit's end. I don't know what the problem could be. Looks like Willow left a Christmas ball up there. That's kind of crazy. So yeah, got to fill up the system. I think we'll do it like we do with Subarus, where we fill the radiator first till that's full and then go to the expansion tank. On turbocharged Subarus, there's an expansion tank that's the high point of the system, and that's where all the air gets released. But yeah, something I didn't show in the last video. I told you I made a parking brake adjusting tool. That's this handy dandy nice looking thing right here. I just took a butter knife and bent it, and now I can get in there and adjust that parking brake if I need to. Also got a track tensioning tool. This is a big boy wrench. It works okay. It would be better if I had the closed end wrenches for this, but they're like 80 bucks a piece for the sizes that I need. And of course, one side is different size than the other, so I'd have to buy 2 different wrenches. I don't know why they did it that way, but they just did. The tracks loosen themselves up from the vibrations, and probably because I didn't tighten the lock nut down on them. So I went through and readjusted them, got them tensioned back up, and I'm hoping that will fix a little bit of the track skipping. They were pretty loose. They were off about 1/2 inch, which is a lot in the terms of tracks and whatnot. Shifter works good. Got it all adjusted. I think everything's ready to go to test this, but that's going to have to come another day. I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on what's going on. It's a lot easier to get the work done when you're not worried about setting up cameras and stuff like that. I know it sucks, but that's just how it goes. I put together a new manual here that's got everything in it. So I have this on hand if for some reason in the future I'd ever decide to do something crazy like this again. But other than that, guys, I think that's going to be it for this episode. If you like this episode, give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed yet, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. But as always, I hope you guys are taking care of each other. Stay safe, and I'll catch you next time. See you later. Bye-bye.